button. And I haven't got my camera on. Jesus Christ. Andy, you are amateur. An absolute amateur. Good evening, everybody. Apologies for being very disorganised and late, and just my computer seems to have been having a complete collywobble. It is rather slow today. So this probably does not bode well for the editing side of things, because you know what Lightroom's like. And as I logged in, good evening, Andrew, how are you, sir? As I logged into Creative Cloud, there's a new Lightroom update, which I obviously have not installed. But supposedly, it's a little bit faster in the develop module. I don't believe them. Evening, Serge. How are you? Hope you're well. Good evening, everybody, by the way. So do let me know if things are going wrong. Am I darker today? Maybe it's not just me. I think I played around with the camera settings a little while ago because I thought it was too bright. But I am absolutely ringing today. It is so warm and horribly close and horrible. It is horribly mild and mingingly clammy. You get all the Northumbrian words for being warm. Serge, you're probably used to the warm weather, though. Us Northerners aren't. I mean, it's. I think it's like 23. Well, outside it's probably like 20 now, but in here it just feels like a bloody sauna. So, good evening, Simon. Good evening. How are you, sir? It's my tan. My tan is coming on. You can't really tell from here, but I've been outside lots. Good evening, Sergio. You maybe have the old farmer's the old farmer's neckline. And I would get my legs out, but you know what happened the last time I got my legs out? I nearly snapped a hamstring. So it is. It's just a bit too warm for me. I'm a fair-skinned northerner that prefers temperatures about. Not really much higher than about 19 degrees. I bet you do, Sergio. I bet you do. I was down at the coast yesterday morning. Lovely. It was about 16 degrees. Sun beating down, which was really nice. Gentle breeze off the sea. 16 degrees. Fantastic. You'd come a mile inland. 24. Boiling. Just ready to fall over, to be honest. Can't do anything, and I just feel horrible and minging, and everything sticks to you. And anyways, on that happy note, by the way, I don't know, you might be your AC's going full power. Yeah, we're in Britain. We don't have AC. We have like windows open. I am in the currently, as in I did like 4 panels just before I came online. I've added some, and I'm going to continue adding some more sound panels behind me to hopefully aid the reflecting sound in this room, because it's a bit, I think it's a bit bad. So let me know if there's been a slight improvement. Obviously I'll listen to this back later on to see if it's a little bit better than last week, because I do feel it kind of echoes quite a lot. And I still haven't got, we haven't got to the point yet where the Adobe podcast thing can be run on live stuff, so we'll have to make do. Hopefully obviously it's warm everywhere in the UK at the minute. If you're not on the west, you probably got a lot of rain yesterday. Lucky people. It was pretty. Andrew, I put this t-shirt back on just before I come on. Before I came on stream because it was so hot. But decency, YouTube, you have to be decent. So I can't take my shirt off. Yeah, 20 degrees sounds about fine, Simon, but when it's like 23, 24, I start giving up. And like last year when we had those temperatures of, well, it got to about 33 here, and obviously it got hotter further south. 33 here, I just wanted to keel over. You might not have thought that, Serge, but if you listen to it carefully, you can hear a lot of, not echo, but like a hollowness around in the sound. Good evening, Peter. How are you, sir? Are you working? Hope you're well. Hope you haven't been smoked out. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not sure. What areas of the country got a lot of smoke, but hopefully you're doing okay. Yeah. Yes, Simon, you can't take off the number of layers. You can't take off the number of layers to make yourself comfortable. I could have a shave. That would probably make me a bit more comfortable because I'm a bit warm with all this insulation. And I'm a bit warm with all this insulation as well. No smoke there. Good stuff. Good stuff. I wasn't sure if it was just blowing through, but obviously we saw a lot on the news about New York. And obviously everything in the northeast corner is classed as one area when you're from over here. But yeah. So, anyways, what's been going on since last week? Have I been doing more? Well, I've definitely been doing more tuition since last week. But did I have a bit of a break after last Tuesday? I can't remember. Anyways, I had a lovely fella yesterday. Very nice chap. Got him for another day later in the week as well. He's visiting the area for a week to learn from me. Lovely chap. So we're going a little bit more in depth on the whole processing and photographing stuff. So hopefully he's learning lots. And to be honest, he made the best image I've seen made by a client on a day. All the time I've been doing this. So that was really nice to see. Good evening, Rick, or afternoon, Rick. You were in the... It's okay now. All right, that's good. That's good. Well, obviously it probably would blow through eventually. Or change direction of air or whatever. We could do with a change of direction of air. Like, just take this warm air somewhere else. It's too hot. It's far too hot. Right, so we were gonna have a look at Edinburgh, weren't we? So from the last weekend. Just give me a second whilst this kind of loads. What date was that? I've lost track already. The 4th. So last week we made a really nice image. What's the button for this? Forgot. So last week we made a really good image. So this week it's bound to be a load of rubbish. Spoilers. Yeah, so last week we had these two fine examples of images. We had this one. And I think last week I did mention I was going to go in and clean up some of the stuff on this image. If you look here, there was a like a Velux window here that was disturbing me, and you had the girders of the kind of stadium thing that was here. So I managed to get rid of those on this one. Did I get rid of them on this one as well? Yes, I did. But I didn't do the Velux window on that one. So, which was nice. So those two last week turned out really, really nice. This week, however, I did make another one during the week. A bit more realistic on the colour, as you can see, and vertical. Not often I do a vertical image. I've done a few recently, or not made them on here, but I have shot quite a bit of vertical stuff recently. Debatable on how good the results are, but this image turned out nicely. There was these three girls walking up these stairs, all in very bright, colourful dresses, so they really set off the scene. So what have I done here? I've turned them all into one colour and just about got rid of them. So yeah, that was a little bit of a crop. Yeah, Yeah, that was it. That was the that was the image that I twisted and put it back, kind of straightened it up. So that's pretty much all the editing I've done since this time last week. So yeah, right. So what do we want to edit this week? And I really don't particularly want to edit the castle from the other side because it's going to be really hard. But I didn't really shoot anything else. Do I want to edit anything like that? Should we have it, or should we edit a vertical? We've never edited a vertical on here, have we? Live. I've picked some of these out for prosperity. It's very similar to last week though, isn't it? Once you've made one decent image, you can't replicate it. Yeah, love a bit of planning, don't you? Right, okay. Those are the horizontal ones. Right, so I think I might just have to suffer the consequences and try one of these. Oh, actually, we've got another building from Edinburgh. We could potentially edit something like this, because then it's not the castle. And hopefully it's a bit easier to work with as well. Being honest, it is that warm in here with the lights on and everything, and just generally. I don't really want to be here for an hour and a half, getting on for 2 hours. So if we can make a quick one, that would be nice. So we might just edit this picture of whatever this building is. I may have to check to see what this building is. Give me a second. New window. I'm just going to move that over here so you can't see my search. Oh, I need some maps, don't I? That's what I want. I have a button for that. Google Maps. I will find out. I like to educate as well, so you all know what we're looking at. Edinburgh. Scroll back in, Andy. Transition Gardens, and it is. Where is it? Oh, come on. It is. What is it? Render. Give me the name. The Parish Church of St Cuthbert. That's what this building is, right here. Just the end of Princess Street Gardens. There's another church. That's what that church on the corner is. Okay, right. So, yes, let's edit this image. Because I'm not lazy, but I'm just looking for an easier route. Which is guaranteed. I'm going to make it hard on. So, that was the other church in the background, which that was a more interesting one I was looking for, but didn't have the lens for it. Yeah, really don't want to look at the castle. So let's look at from this point. Yeah, obviously we had some reflection issues, but that's not too bad. How many from this set? No, I change. No, I didn't. Right, okay, so we start with, yeah, we don't want the sharp one, so let's go from this one and just try to make a little bit of a scene of it. Not looking to reinvent the wheel tonight. We do that enough. Anywho. Right, so normal corrections. Do all that. Detail. I've had this camera now 2 years and it's getting to the point there's a lot of dust spots now. Doesn't look like it on here at the minute, but there's a few. I've been photographing recently quite with a large f-stop. Obviously, you know, f14, f16, because it's summer and it's brighter. But it's showing up a lot more of the dust spots recently, which is not nice. That's that done. So there was a few there, not many. I was getting rid of quite a lot the other day. Right, so do I just go to my cheating presets? Try to make it a nice, easy evening. We could go with that one. A bit too blue. The only thing is the building itself was quite grey, so I don't really need it to be that strong yellow. However, I am tempted to go that way. Or I might just go with that. It might be an easy way out. I'm looking for easy tonight. So, right, okay, let's open these shadows out a little bit more. You're all very quiet already. I've bored you already. Right, I'm going to let you go light, quite light. I move the blacks out a bit. So it becomes that more faded kind of feel. Clarity, just going to, yeah, let's leave the clarity out. Here's not that much. Actually, let's just leave that as it is. Just going to check these settings. Some of the presets are heavy-handed. Detail don't need any sharpening there. You can go back to normal, and blue's reasonably under control. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to apply that preset to all of these 8 images, 9 images. I'm going to apply that to those, and let's go synchronize. Wait while the computer catches up. Right, so I'm just going to look through these and then decide which images I'm going to actually use before the computer dies. Don't die on me. So this one, I would say yes. I'm going to give these 2 stars so I know which ones I'm using. That's quite interesting. Slightly disturbed by the amount of lights running through it. Let's give a hold. That one's quite interesting. Bit of movement, a bit of negativity down here. But we do kind of want some of that trees. I'm not sure if I moved location slightly here, so this might require a bit of change, a bit like change of position, but we'll go with it. And that one, I bring in some of these trees on the right. Maybe it's not that one, or that one. Put that one. That one. So how many is that? That's 4. Let's go to that one. Let's include this one and see how we get on. So that's 1, 2, 3, 5. Oh, I've ticked 6. Do we want to run the risk of using 6? Yes, we will. We can delete images if need be. Deselect those 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, right. And no, we've already synced them. We need to import them into Photoshop. There's layers in Photoshop. And now we wait. Let's go back to me. If I bring the right button, got to go all the way back to my starting points. There we go. We'll let Lightroom have all these. How we catch up. Oh, I did do it. It was just took a long time. So whilst that does it all in the background, we'll let the computer have all the resources for that. God, it's warm. I was going to say, Craig, that's quite high up, or partner or something, or part owner or whatever, of the K&F brewery. This is not an ad. Will be most disturbed that I'm drinking orange juice out of one of his glasses. If you're into your craft beers and stuff like that, check out the K&F brewery. I would flog my own mother on here, obviously. Also, if you see on the description below, if you're looking to buy anything from K&F Concept, there is a link, no, not a link, a code for getting 10% off. If you're in the line for any filters or bags or tripods or whatever that they make. I think that is active from today. Because at the moment I'm reviewing a variable ND filter. So you'll expect a video on that in the next, well, within the next month anyway. Which is interesting because it's not often I get anything to vlog. To be honest, Serge, no. However, I had a client that didn't have from abroad that didn't have an ND filter with them. So I ordered a 6-stop from them. Well, it was through that. It was on Amazon, so it was guaranteed next day. And it was only £36, whereas my other 6-stop ND filter was like 105, like 10 years ago. Obviously, my ND filter is it's glass. This one's resin. However, it does a decent job. It hasn't got the warm cast that my filter I've had for years has got. So it is probably more neutral. So that maybe doesn't help my warm colours come through. It brings through more of these blues and greens and stuff. So it just changes things up a bit, makes things more exciting. So, but I'm yet to play around with the variable ND filter in combat. But it's solidly made. Comes in a nice leather pouch. So I have done a quick unboxing video, which I will be releasing as a short or on TikTok in the next week or so, maybe, or next few days, depending how the rest of the week goes. 6 stops is supposedly ND64. I believe 400 is 8 stops and 1000 is 10. I think that's the way it works. I don't know why they don't just put 6 stops, 8 stops, 10 stops, 16 stops, instead of having stupid numbers. But what I do know is my old ND filter is stronger than this one. So whether my old ND filter is maybe 6.5 stops, don't know. Well, there was a little bit of a difference. Right, back to this. Right, so we've got these 6 images stacked together, and let's see what the blend modes might do. Obviously, going to use multiply to line them up in a moment. But let's just have a quick look. Ooh, now that's an interesting picture. Might come back to that one momentarily. Pin light. No. Sometimes pin light can give you something interesting. Yeah. I'm not sure, to be honest. But yeah, but the variable one, I have put it on the camera and I'd given it a bit of a tweak, because it's got them, it's got the markers and stuff on. However, it's basically the entire range, because it goes from ND2, which is what, half a stop, through to ND400, which is like 8 stops. So really, the ND filter only takes effect for like a fraction of an inch on the moving it around, which is a bit silly, because anything less than maybe 4 stops, you're just going to adjust the f-stop and the or whatever, or or you know, the adjustments on the camera to counteract any issues with that. So, right, I was going to say I like this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a thingy stamp, stacked stamp. Peter always knows what this is called. Will you please just do as you're told? Photoshop. So I'm going to take a stamp of this because this is quite nice. It's quite abstract in a way. So I've taken a stamp of that, and now what I'll do, I'll move it around a bit and see how that, and then again use the light and blend mode once everything's into its normal position to see how that affects it. Well, that's quite nice. Actually, I'm going to take away a few layers here just to see what the change is, because we had that lady on the foreground, which was quite good. I'll leave that one there. Yeah, let's leave that one active. Definitely need that lady there. Definitely need those blues. Definitely need that. So that's just taking that top layer out, as you can see here. Let's do another stamp layer of that. Oh, will you please just... They need to get this stamp layer thing sorted out. So you can just do it at any point. Not have to have certain things selected. It's a bit annoying. Right, okay, so if we activate that back on, and then we'll go back to multiply. So I'm just basically setting that up for later. We're going to be here for more than an hour right now, aren't we? Well, Sergio, if you're after just a normal ND filter, like straight up ND filter, it's like a 6-stop one, or maybe it's even strong, you know, depending on what you want. Those K&F Concept ones are cheap as chips. You know, that variable one that I'm looking at is only 53 quid. So the ND, like the full ND filter from, that was the 6-stop, 77mm screw, that was only 36, I think, which is nothing for a filter. So to be honest, you can't go wrong with it. So if you can get it on Amazon or go to K&F Concept, they've got that. I think they've got a sale on. You can use my code, get 10% off. I think basically you can't go wrong. I'm not sure what their shipping is at the minute for France. You'd have to have a look. I know if certain countries it's free shipping. Right. Should be on commission with them, shouldn't I? Right, okay, let's line some of these up. So I've got the move tool, yep. And this goes over here just a little bit. I'm being fairly loose with these, not really, I was going to say not really caring too much. Not bothered about too much accuracy. And this one just goes over here a bit more. Something like that. Right, let's just have a look at these in the light and blend mode again. So, yeah, it's still quite... There's a little bit more detail in there. So if we've got the lighting on that, so this was the other one. Which one do I like better? I think I maybe do like that one better. Anyhow, right, so if we're going to multiply on that, and then if we take some layers out. Ooh, look at that colour in the corner. I'll take that out. I can see me ditching a lot of layers here. I think this one needs to be just dropped in opacity. So it weakens this side. So those greens aren't as strong. We've got the problem of mud here. Very muddy colour. So we'll see how that goes. In the edit, if we bring this in. But the other thing is, I keep forgetting this, is I don't need to go in with the same type of blend mode. So I could activate this layer and then go to another blend mode and it will interact in a different way. So, you know, that's, you know, using vivid light, that's giving me a very strong red there. So we go soft light to there. If we bring this up there, does that change it? So it changes its, as you change its position. Using soft light, it can change its position in the stack. It can change the image. So I'm liking that red there, so more deep orange there. So I could ease back on this layer, because what we do, you know, in analog effects is going to probably make this quite a lot more vivid anyway. Okay, so we've got all this issue of these swirly bits, so we'll just have to deal with those as and when. I am keen to get this lady in, because that was quite effective. And it's very blue, so we need to sort the blue out, because I don't like modern blues. So if we just drop the opacity on that a little bit, so we have the figure in there, and maybe just mask that out a bit. I'm starting to get used to this new masking tool in Photoshop. Maybe not whilst I'm streaming at the same time, because it makes it very, very slow. Good lord, it makes it slow. Right, okay. Right, Andy, just pick a point and forget about it. Yeah, so it's just the bottom. And that gives us a little bit more interest. You know, bottoms of the trees, more people, bollards and whatever there. That's not too shabby. Right, so nice and quick and easy, we're just going to chop this down to here. Yeah, to whatever you want to chop it down to, Photoshop. And we go yes. You're all quiet in chat again. Are we live still? Shoosh. Right, I'm just going to stick that into the bin, just to free things up a little bit more. Right, so what I need to do is stick them into a folder so we can hide them better. Right, so I want to do some tweaking, so we need an adjustment layer of curves, I think. Just to lighten it off and flatten it a bit. Just, you know, bring this end point up on the curves, so it takes away some of those vivid, or not, doesn't take away some of those vivid oranges, but just kind of gives it that flatter, softer kind of feel. Thank you, Andrew. How's your photography going after you spent that day with me? Have I ruined you by any chance? So obviously, just, you know, using that curves adjustment there, you can see it's taking the intensity of the blue away up here. So we'll have another adjustment layer and the hue and saturation layer. So I'm select the blues, so you can change that. I think we'll go to about there, but also kind of desaturate a little bit further. We go lighter, but we'll leave that as it was. go to the master on the hue and saturation. To be honest, that can just stay as it is. That's fine. And so that's a reasonable starting point, I think. Obviously, I don't particularly like the light trails, but you know, it's a city. There's lots of reflecting things. Lots of things that reflect, and it was very sunny, and I think they probably have people, to be honest, never mind anything else. So yeah, I think we'll stick these into, we've got the greens there, so that'll be interesting to see how that reacts. So we're going, excuse me, full of wind. We'll stick these into Analog Effects Pro and see how we get. Oh no, I do apologise then, Andrew. That's what you've been doing. You were there for the puffins. But you went and spoiled it. Trump pleads not guilty. There's a surprise. Not sure what you've been ordering now. Right, so what's it called? Presets on the left, which you can see most of them, obviously. Again, still haven't heard back anything further from DxO about the user interface for this new Nik Collection, as it's very very small, hard to read. So looking down the presets, obviously I'm always attracted to the warmer ones. Looks like there's a few candidates as I'm scrolling past, which could be quite interesting. And you know, just on the color, because obviously when I'm using these presets, sometimes I'm looking at them in this little preview, as you would see here. Sometimes I'm looking at them for color, and some of them for like composition straight out of the gate. But in this case, I'm pretty much just assessing color, and then hopefully work from there. Because basically my composition for this image isn't the best. So let's click on this one and see what this one's like. I quite like this edge here, as in it's fading out to the edge of the frame. Hi Bob, how are you? Lovely to have met you the other day. Randomly stalking me around my own village. I hope you enjoyed your break in the area. If you're not already still here. Okay, well, whatever. So let's just have a little bit move of this around. Obviously, some of these lines being brought into the image more isn't great. However, I mean, I could nullify a lot of the stuff on the left-hand side. I'm just not sure about this yet. If I spin it that way, I'm not even sure about the colour on this one yet, to be honest. Finally, I've got my own stalker. Yes, it's taken long enough. Evening, Alan. How are you, sir? Hope you're well. Are you melting in the heat as well? Hopefully you haven't been working in the rafters of a roof or something like that. Or hopefully you haven't been like scorched. Indoors. Yeah. spot the eternally single bloke where he's going, yes, I've got a stalker. You've been inside? Oh, that's alright. I was going to say the lads have been working here on the houses next door all week. And obviously I'm saying all week, it's only Tuesday. The last 2 days, I don't know how they do it. Don't know how they do it. I'm doing alright, mate. Thank you very much. I'm doing alright. We are surviving. Right, I need to go... No, I need to go lighter. Been busy. Busy teaching and stuff, so that's been good. But soon that'll ease back and we'll have to get back to photographing again. Could do with a trip out somewhere. Well, a proper trip or a holiday or something. I think that's going to be the thing. I don't even know if I like this preset enough as a basis. I mean, that's alright, but it's the squiggly lines that are annoying. Well, we've got lots of time for a sunset now, mate. Good God, it's about 10:30. The guy that's over here for the week, Chris. When he got here, oh, he'd had a night in Edinburgh, and he was like, I was so surprised by how light it was so late. I said, oh yes, you're well and truly north now. Right, yeah, I'm not even sure about this image. Let's go red. Let's go red. Come on. Let's have a look at this one. The stupid thing is these lines are going to annoy me anyway. Normal colours coming in there. Right, if we go there, how strength is that? It's quite a lot of balance to the second exposure. Let's dial that back. So we have some nice reds. Do we go? Is that too much? I don't know. I don't mind it. It's nearly a case of getting the blend right. If we move this over here, keep going a little bit further. What I don't want is this like before where it was the muddy kind of area. Lens vignette, where is that at the moment? It's over here. Bring that, yeah, that needs to be have these vivid. All these squiggly lines now, they're right in the middle. If they weren't there, it'd be much better. They are annoying. Would it be worth the effort? Because I think I would like that without them squiggly lines. Would it be worth the effort cloning those out? Maybe. Evening, Andrew. They are a nuisance. They bloody are. I'll just look at this preset for a moment. Okay, right, I'm going to come out of this and I'm going to attempt to nullify some of... Cancel. Close without... Yeah, right, yeah. So certainly these ones here anyway. I'm not too fussed about these ones, he says. Right, how do you get how do you get rid of these again? Zoom right in. Make that a bit bigger. I'm sure you can't just like stick it into generative fill and say, fill in this. Or could you? You moves could, like. Did it? No. Oh no, this is the wrong thing, isn't it? The wrong tool. Oh, just had a message from Alan. I haven't looked yet. It sounds like he's got a new pal. Let me have a look. Obviously, I'll not show it online, mate. Oh, nice. Very nice. Can't believe people still buy spaniels though, or get spaniels. Need your heads examined. You need your heads examined. They are terrible dogs. What's the heel? That's the one I want. Oh, I need to stamp things. Right. You would think I knew what I was doing. Oh God. Oh Lord. Help me. Do it. I was going to say, just get on and do it. Don't think about it. I probably don't need to be doing them all the way out there. God, I'm missing. It's probably these ones that were having the main effect. Okay, right. Let's get to this one. Oh God, I missed it. I thought I was reasonable with a mouse. Turns out I'm not. Oh my Jesus. Well, if we can get the worst of them. Good Lord. Just down the road. Thank you. You think I was a nervous wreck doing these? No idea, Serge, to be honest. Potentially, but then you're bringing something along from just alongside it, and if it doesn't quite do it right, it's kind of bad news. So you get that kind of doubling up of it. Right, I'm going to take this across here. I was just thinking I was getting better at this. Right, I'm going to do this. This one could be telling. Good Lord, missed it. Did a decent job. Did a decent job. I'm not going to do this side. They can just stay. How about? The concentration on my face, isn't it? Right, leave them there, and yeah, let's leave them. I'll just get these few here, just for the sake of it. What a ball ache! What a ball ache! Right, that's that kind of bunch out the way anyway. Right, so from here back into Nik effects, Nik analog effects rather, and then maybe have a look at that red one again, because some of them things is What are you missing by not having Analog Effects Pro? Basically, Rick, is I started using Analog Effects Pro. Obviously, I've been a Nik user for a long time. I started using that, well, I was just experimenting for a long time. I started using it because the analog effects part of it mimics old film and old photography and film that's expired many years ago and all this kind of stuff. And in there, some of the colouring filters gave my work in particular that aged kind of feel, as if it was made many years ago or was painted many years ago. So that's why I kind of started using that. And then in Analog Effects Pro, you've also got a double exposure module to mimic double exposures that people would make using film back in the day. And that, to me, mixed in with ICM, can create lots of other interesting shapes and patterns and framings and subject matter isolation and all this kind of stuff. So that's why I use it. So it is worth every penny. I mean, if you've had it before, it's only like £69. The full version is 130, I think. I think there's a link below which you'll be able to click that, and I get a little bit of a kickback from it if you were to purchase it. I just thought I'd mention that. Right, so now that we've got that mess out the way, we can have a proper look. So this is quite nice in this area, not so nice this area. So if I just see the second exposure thing, Rick, sorry. If you move this around, it creates different effects and framings and highlights things in different ways, which is just so powerfully creative. I love it. But yeah, the Nik Collection, if you do any black and white, pretty much essential. Best black, and still after all these years, probably the best black and white editor. You've got other things like color effects and HDR effects, which is slightly different to all the Photoshop version way of doing things. And what else is in there? There's another noise reduction thing, Define Pro, or Define anyway. I should know all this off by heart, being an affiliate, so I can sell it to you. There's 8 different plugins, all very powerful, all very good. Most of them rebuilt from the ground up recently. Perspective, yeah, there's lots of stuff around. That's quite nice. Yeah, Silver Effects is why I had Nik many years ago to start with. I think most of us did, if we've been taking pictures for any length of time. I think we've had Silver Effects. We all been very. That's too much. I think, to be honest, I might just make this a slightly quick edit and then have a play with that multicolored, posterized kind of shot that kind of appeared earlier. Change that to warm. That's more my style. Viveza is handy as well. Quite right, Serge. I use Viveza quite a bit. Just basically, it's a really good suite of plugins. It's been around for 25 years now. How many, like if you think back in the history of Photoshop and plugins and stuff like that, is Alien Skin still around? I don't know. It's not very well known if it is. So yeah, Nik's still around. Obviously, it's been a few incarnations. Google had it for a bit. The original one was bought and sold and whatever. That's better. The Nik sold it to DxO. DxO kind of, I wouldn't say rescued it, but resurrected it. Quite like that now. It's just nice, I think. Do I like this? I'm worried. Kai's power to vaguely, Andrew. No worries, Rick. Remember, Rick, there's a link down below on the description. If you click on that and then buy it at some stage, hopefully some stage in the future, then I do get £1 or £2 from it. That's actually quite nice now. Quite like this area here. Right, so that's turning out not too bad now. Is there anything else I need to do here? Don't think so. I think everything's pretty much perfect. Nearly perfect anyway. I'm not forcing you, I'm just messing around, but you know, it helps me out if you do. If you do, it helps me out. Hey Andrew, I don't know if you were here earlier on, but this is the second one now. This is the second affiliate link. I have a code. Use my code. It's yeah. Well, actually, I'm quite liking it. Oh, maybe even if it were, I'd just crop this down. Quite like that now. Maybe another one of these ones that I refine later. Anyways, right. Buy my presets to go with it. That's a good point, Barbara. Good point. I know Andrew just bought something off us. I haven't checked to see what it was, but I thought, didn't you not have the presets off, is it? Earlier. At an earlier time. Don't want to check my email with this. You did? I thought you'd bought them ages ago, Andrew. Anywho, right, so that was Andrew Daw, not Andrew Banner, by the way. Right, so that's fine. All right, not a bad image. Right, so we could have just said Andrew. Well, thank you very much. Anyway, right, so this other kind of posterized kind of image, which is very different. So it's like, what can we do with this? How much space? Oh, 2 gig. Right, okay. So this one is obviously it's quite interesting colors. So let's within here. Let's forgetting my way around Photoshop. Hue and saturation. Let's go into here. Let's bump the saturation up. Let's change the hues. Ooh, right, okay. We could be getting a little bit mad tonight. Forgot how to use it. Right, so if I slidey this, if I dial that back though, God, it looks like something out of the Blitz to be. Well, my ear's just gone. Magnetic field. Right, so if I then can tweak the blues, I should dial that back a little bit. If I can go into here and click that, yellows, really? I suppose, fair enough. And let's go to that. That's the reds. Slightly interesting. Made in an oil refinery. I just think I like this dome on the end of the church here. It's quite effective, I think. Well, I'm saying effective. effect. It's quite nice. But yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this, apart from like make it more vivid. What other adjustment levels can I do on here? What brown stuff can I fling at a wall to make it and see what sticks with this image? Or are we going to end up with a red image? Oh, I love the experimentation. However, what we could do is we do blend modes and start playing around with blend modes. See what each one does. I keep forgetting about things like this. Oh, I could invert it. Oh lordy. If I take that away and that away. No, inversion doesn't work today. Sometimes inversion works lovely. More vivid of mission accomplished. Feeling rock. I don't know. I'm not really sure, to be honest, Sergio. I think what I'm going to do, I've got it to like this kind of point. I'm going to throw it in Analog Effects Pro, and obviously with my presets, see what kind of things might come out. Good evening, Aileen. How are you? Hope you're well. Hopefully it's nice and sunny up in Scotland today, up on the east coast. There's a proper coloured one as well, Aileen, that you might have missed. This is the proper edit. But this other one that we're now working on is just something that appeared whilst we were scrolling through blend modes. So I thought I would push on with it and see what came of it. So let's go into Analog Effects Pro. Let's see what happens. See something? I mean, this is just something you just don't know what's coming when you layer things up and play around with blend modes and whatever. That's what you get for leaving for half an hour, Peter. Yes, I think finally the mind is blown. Right, so let's have a look down. They're all looking very pink here. I'm very good, thank you, Aileen. I got my shorts on and my legs are getting redder. I would show them off, but obviously I'll probably snap a hamstring if I did it. If I did that tonight. What's this one do? What's this preset do? Right, okay. A subtle one? I just don't know, actually. So I just move this around aimlessly. Not aimlessly. Because what I am thinking about this one, I am thinking square crop, to be honest. Maybe it's just this kind of block in the middle, so maybe he's looking for a bit of a frame around it and how that might come through. Oh lordy. Okay. See what the only thing is with some of these pinks and reds, there's quite a bit of what I call bloom, where it just kind of all comes, where the colours kind of merge together and just end up being one colour. There's not that nice graduation. But I did see there was this, this one. I'm just wondering if this could. Ooh, that's another option. Very light, very. It's almost like a sunrise. I mean, it's called golden mist for a reason. this preset. But let's move this around just to see how it obviously goes cooler. But I quite like the goldenness of it, which obviously comes from the base of the image. So what we could do is let's make this the full size and have that along the skyline. But what we could do is actually spin this right over. We spin this right over and then bring this up. So we have that golden mist along. It wipes it out though, doesn't it? Not so good. Well, seemed like a good idea at the time, Andy. Okay, let's go back to put it that way on, and then bring this yellow back in from the sky, like so. That's more like it. Reposition this. I just want it along the top there. So I think we're going to have a version of 2 of this. Exposure balance. No, that needs to move that way. Super strength fine. Whoa, you bugger. I quite like that light yellow. There. There in the exposure. I mean, this just shows you the kind of the power and potential creativity just using this tool. You can move something just a little way, and it's gonna go. You can do something like just really quite mad, quite out there. So that's. I think I quite like that. I'm gonna come back and have a look at Gatehouse on plaster again. So I'm gonna apply this. I'm just going to check the lens vignette. Where is... No, where are you? Oh, you're right in the middle. Are you actually doing anything, lens vignette? Maybe he's not. So if I make this not as small as it goes, okay, let's make it a rectangular one. And let's add in a little bit more light. About there. So this one's actually lightening around the vignette and the bottom. So by moving it up here, it's kind of putting the sky back to its original exposure, but it's lightening the bottom around about it. So that's quite nice, quite interesting. Okay, let's commit that, and then we'll come back in and do a darker Reddit as well. And then we're going to have like 3 images by the end of the stream. And actually it's cooling off a bit now, so I'm not in a great rush to get away from here. I am no longer sticking to my t-shirt. Right, gonna hide that one, and then we're gonna go back in and FX Pro. So what's everybody got on for the rest of the week? You all got entertaining weeks coming up? What's that one then? This is where I start looking at each bloody preset. Remember, if anybody that's got presets, is that they are starting points. They are not there to do the job for you. They are starting points. You're just there to start. You can configure, move sliders, move layers, all that good stuff. I kind of want this red with less squiggles. Those do want squiggles. Oops, that position's quite nice. That'll render in. Is it going to render in? There you go. Okay. Contrast on that one. Up, down, left, right. Ooh, actually, quite liked it. just a little bit up, like so. Detail. No, it kind of made it mucky a bit, so back as well there. A week of wildlife photography. Told you, you'll be cursing me, Andrew. You'll be cursing me. Spoiling your career as a wildlife photographer. Don't need that motion blur on. Knock that off. Right, so the second exposure is kind of locked in. Lens vignette. We probably want it a bit, not that strong, Andy. Jesus Christ. About there. But we want to move this potentially. Oh, it could be that strong. We'll just. So we have that about there, maybe. We could make that a bit stronger. What's it like if I bring that up there? There. See, this is one of these cases. Well, I could just bring down the exposure, couldn't I? Duh. Because I'm being a dumbass. So I knock that off, and then on this, bring the brightness down. Ooh, now the reds are getting nice. Welcome to my world, Barbara. Welcome to my world. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Andrew, as well. It looks, you know, they do look a bit more graffiti-like. Right, so that's on. I'll put that back to 0. They look more deliberate when they're interacting in a different way rather than. Right, so what I need to do here is. I've forgotten. Lost my train of thought. No, not too much. So I will tweak the red because this is guaranteed. Actually, I might do post crop vignetting in Lightroom. That might be the answer. Right, so let's take this back into Lightroom. I think I'm pretty much done in here. Let's take this back in. Come on. Always so slow. 2.2, okay. Yeah, actually, let's bring you into that group so I know where you all are. So in here, I need to. What do I need to do in here? Or do I do it in Lightroom? Reds. I think I'll do this in Lightroom actually. The HSL is a little bit more intuitive. Right, so I'm going to save each of these as a layer file. Oh no, I need to flatten it. Let's not cock this up, Andy. Save as. No, will you stop asking me? Save on my computer. Oh, why is it June 10th? It's not June 10th. It's June 4th. Was that one? I think. June 4th at Edinburgh. I think. Yeah, it must be. I don't trust Photoshop. 2. This is just trying to speed things up. If I cocked this up, I'd be very mad. It's fine. Didn't do it. File save as. This will be where Lightroom doesn't automatically bring them in. That'll be the next thing. See, I didn't flatten it. I'm being silly by rushing. File, save as. Starting to sweat again now. That's just because I'm getting annoyed with myself. So hopefully, oh, they are on there. Great. So those 3 are in there, and we will give them a rating. 3 stars. Okay. So right, we want to crop these, don't we? Create virtual copy of this one. So this one is obviously a nice bit landscape kind of shot. Develop module Andy. Crop. What are you looking at that one for? I want that one. Thank you. 16 by 9. Another option for wallpaper next month. Create a virtual copy, and we want a square crop of just this. Will you stop? I'm fucking annoying. Crop tool. Give me the crop tool. So 1 by 1 of just this kind of area. So it's kind of nice. Or compositionally, that's probably a bit better. Where's the... Getting annoyed. That's the thing. When it gets warm, I get annoyed. And I get frustrated. Right, so that's the crop's made of that one. This one, right, Lightroom, you can be annoying as well now. So let's crop this one again, 16 by 9. You give over. That's quite nice, obviously. Could probably even go narrower, to be honest. Let's go. 2 by 1 isn't. Yeah, 2 by 1's even more narrow. More narrow. Narrower. Lovely. Let's go for another. Let's try a square just in case I stick it on Instagram at some point in the future. I could probably go with that. So we get this squiggle here. We get this squiggle here. Got a bit of a composition going on the left. Could we work? Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. And then we've got this one. Yeah, this one is the one that needs a little tweak, I think. So hue, and we'll on here we can drag, open it down. Just a marginal little movement there. So just a little bit, let's not go too mad. +7, okay, and I didn't want to do basic. If we go, no, let's not go contrast. Drop that to touch. Actually, just as it was. Clarity, we could. Yeah, drop the clarity a little bit. Texture, no, we need the texture to be up for a little kind of perceived sharpness. Here's yeah. Actually, maybe a little bit here's just kind of softens it ever so slightly. just a little bit. And what else? Post-crop vignetting, wasn't it? Right, so we want a big fat vignette. Obviously this will change depending on the crop. Let's go with that. Like that for now. And so we want, that's confirmed, okay, we need a virtual copy for the crops. So let's go one by one for, will one by one work? Because we've got this these squiggles here which are important, and these squiggles. Be nice to get all the way along to here. 5 by 4, that's the wrong button, Andy. Oh, this is just potentially about to work. Thought it was quite important that the end of this one actually ended within the frame. So potentially about there. I mean, I could bring this side in a little bit to there. Getting your framing right is important, everybody. Okay, that's one. Some people, I don't know if Simon's still here with his twitchy eye, but this is because it's slightly off. This might disturb, but it might make people watch, or look rather. They'll probably look at this and run away in horror, but you never know. So let's try a square crop. Or maybe it's a 16 by 9. Let's have a look anyway. One by one. Again, could come across here. Thank you, Serge. So it's like, where could I? You can see how the vignette's taking effect as well as I drag it across, and the computer takes an age to catch up. So this is an interesting one, because if you're following the squiggly lines, just for, so there's, to me there's there's a couple of potential 1 by 1 crops here, but I think it's imperative that this you intersect this squiggle here before you start bringing this in. I think there's one for over here. I mean, I could like end it right there and then clone out this little corner. I think it's maybe about there. But I think there's another square crop with all the right hand side in. I think there's one there as well. Very modern art, Simon, as in, it's rubbish. It's my opinion of modern art. Well, it's not rubbish, but I don't appreciate it. And that's your second crop. So it's it includes this, the full extent of this squiggle. Now the highlight is on. Right, okay. Sometimes these annoy us, sometimes they don't. So there you go. We've got 3 images there from tonight. Some of them quite different. Yeah, very much pop art. Yeah, very much. So yeah, I don't know which. Maybe that crop is better. I don't know. I was going to do a 16 by 9 as well, wasn't I? Just in case you want wallpapers next month. Right. Okay. So crop 16 by 9. So let's crop in, just above this where it bends off there. Would have been nice to get a little bit more of this squiggle in, but alas, I mean, you could bring that so it's almost out of it, but no, I think it needs this this line across here holding it all in. I think it needs that in. So let's go with that as a 16 by 9. I think that works kind of canny. Something different from me. You don't always get, you know, these kind of extremes. But you know, a lot of my stuff, it's very much a case of just, you know, just latching onto an idea part of the way through, you know, whatever I'm doing. You know, some might say it's, but you know, it's letting whatever happens dictate. But it's still my decision where things happen. Magenta phase, potentially, Peter, potentially. But yeah, I mean, so this all. If I undo that, sorry. So this only, you know, this all came about is purely because when we were doing the multiple exposures and the, you know, went through the light and blend mode, you know, this appeared and it just kind of caught my eye. So that's why this image, you know, this image came about. So obviously playing around, and it's ended up like that, which is different to my usual stuff. So I hope you've enjoyed that variation this evening. But it's quite the variation for me. I must be getting very liberal in my living. It always does, Simon. You were very right there, sir. You were very right there. It's always a discovery. Yeah, so what made this image is quite nice. So maybe it's like this crop. Let's go to this image. So it might render faster. Yeah, I think maybe this crop is a little bit better. Then we've had this. It's almost like, I mean, for me, I think this feels like some kind of glorious sunrise, you know, an Indian kind of, it's almost like, you know, with the dome on the end of the church, almost kind of gives me India vibes, Taj Mahal type of thing. And the way that, you know, these blurs work, and then you've got the, you know, the South Asian kind of, not turrets, architecture, whatever. Kind of gives it a bit like that. And then, of course, you know, you've got my usual boring traditional style. How to work with layers. I haven't, Rick. Not well. I'm saying I haven't. Nothing that really kind of explains it, I don't think. I think it's just one of them things that if you watch me enough, you'll pick up the various bits. No, thank you very much, Andrew. But yeah, I mean, there's loads of videos out there about working with layers in Photoshop generally. I always recommend checking out Piximperfect. But there's loads of people out there doing Photoshop videos. So look for those on if you just wanting to kind of know about layers in general. Obviously with mine, it's just normal, just layer stacking. And I just play with the multiple exposure. Not multiple exposure. Good God. You're telling people the wrong thing, Andy. Playing with the blend mode, which in Photoshop is this button here. So if I activate that layer, so it's this drop down here. You can just hover and it'll give you lots of versions, or it'll show you what it's going to do. But it's this box here. Basically, play around with that to your heart's content. Like I say to everybody, it's all about experimentation. Maybe Simon. But thank you, Andrew, very much. Thank you very much. Right, so that is how we got to today. Yeah, I'm quite pleased. I mean, I don't know how I would present that whether it would actually end up on my website or Instagram or whatever, but kind of like that. I know for a fact if I put that on Instagram, it would look completely different to this because of all the colour shifts and stuff. So we'll see. Anyhow, so if I go to that button. Looks like it's already signed. I know. Don't need to put my actual squiggle on it. Exactly. Yeah, there's a little touch of reality there, Serge. Sometimes I divulge my secrets for money, Peter. Sometimes I do. So, but yeah, thanks very much, everybody. It's been a fun one again. Obviously, we've missed Jen again this week. She's still on her holidays, I believe. So it's obviously been a bit quieter without her. You lot haven't taken full advantage of her not being in here, keeping you all right. So good to see you, Barbara, and nice to have seen you the other day as well. No worries, everybody. But enjoy the rest of your evenings or afternoons or mornings or whatever you're doing at the minute. Have a lovely rest of the week, and we should see you next Tuesday. I think. I don't think there's anything coming up that's going to stop me being here Tuesday. I don't think. What's the date next Tuesday? It'll be the 20th. Or something like that. Yeah. I think it's maybe the week after. Maybe it's a bit busier. But yeah, next week I'm sure I'll be here. So, thank you all very much for watching. Good night, mate. You too, Serge. Good to see you, Peter. Good to see you back. And yeah, we will see you in a week's time, I do believe. So, have a lovely rest of the week. I've already said all this, haven't I? Right, if you're not already, subscribe, etc. If you want to join the Patreon community, join that. Patreon.com/AndrewIsGray. If you want to join the YouTube membership, there's a button somewhere. It's probably under the video says join. It's the same as the Patreon. And what else? I sell presets. Click links for affiliate stuff. If you want to copy, if you want the Nik Collection or whatever, use my link below. All of that, sign up to my newsletter, go see my website, all that good stuff. And I think that'll do. Thank you and good night. So until next week, keep it hard. See you. That end button.